Hey everyone, welcome to my new video, and today I'm going to be talking about The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. So this was the first time I had ever played Twilight Princess. I've never played the original. I've just finished the HD version on the Wii U. So this video is about sort of my impressions, what I thought of it, and I do have a few thoughts about it. So I'll go through things like, the gameplay, the graphics, the world, the story, difficulty, and whether or not I would recommend this to players today who have never played this game. So the basic premise is that you play as Link and you're on a quest to stop the world being taken over by the Twilight Realm. You also gain the ability to transform into a wolf, where you have like separate abilities, and your sidekick on this adventure is Midna, who is from the Twilight Realm, and she's sort of joined up with you to defeat the evil that lurks in the shadows. So first off, the graphics of this game. I don't get hung up on graphics for games, especially old games. I mean, this is a 2016 remaster of a 2006 game, so I'm not even gonna complain about graphics or whether or not I think they hold up today. As long as it's still a good game that I can play through and enjoy, that's what matters. It's fine, it's fine. I will say though, the actual world and the entire look and feel of the game, for me personally, I felt was a bit dull. I don't know if it was empty or it just felt like something was missing from the world. They went with a different sort of vibe and the toned down colors. And I read that the creators were sort of looking at a Lord of the Rings type world. So that kind of makes sense why it's like that. But yeah, the whole world for me just felt a little bit empty. So along with the world, I found the characters, the side characters, to be pretty boring as well. Midna was fine. She had the most personality out of the whole game, and she sort of lifted that aspect of things up. Link was pretty dull as a character, but I mean, that's sort of, the whole thing about Link is he's a blank slate, so Link is Link. But the side characters I found pretty boring, and I found most of them looked so weird. Like, they look so ugly, some of these characters. You had Link and Zelda, and I can't remember the main girl that's not Zelda. They all looked, normal for a Zelda game. But some of the side characters just looked really grotesque, and like their faces were really exaggerated. And that was a bit weird and jarring because not all the characters were like that. So some of the main sort of side characters are the kids in the game from your village, and I just found them quite pointless. You had Colin, who was like this completely depressed looking child. You had the baby, Talo. I really didn't like him. I saw some people thought he was really cool because he's so sassy and stuff, but I couldn't stand him. Whatever. Talma, the gypsy who is in the bar, the tavern, I think she was pretty cool. Like, out of all those sort of side characters, she was one of the best. She just had a bit more personality. I liked her. So the gameplay and controls. The gameplay I found for the most part was pretty good. Fighting as Link, I really enjoyed. And then you sort of could transform into the wolf. And the wolf, fighting as the wolf was pretty basic, like you couldn't do too much. Some of the special moves are pretty cool. But yeah, they're all pretty much standard and the same. So the times that I got really frustrated was when I was riding Epona. God, there was like some sort of boss battles and challenges that you had to use Epona for. And the main one that I just want to throw this damn tablet at the TV was when I was escorting the gypsy carriage. Like, sometimes just turning Epona somewhere is just so frustrating. There's a couple times where you have to do a duel on the bridge, and you get to the end of the bridge, like after dueling him to do it again, and just trying to turn Epona around, and he wouldn't turn, or she. What the hell, God. And by the time I turned Epona around, I get charged and smashed. So that was very frustrating. One of the final boss fights at the end, where you have to chase after one of the bosses on Epona, and holy crap, it is frustrating. Maybe I'm just useless and can't do it properly, but I found Epona was just awful to control. Come on, just turn properly. Like, how hard it is it? It's just the turning. Like, just turn around. Like, that was the most frustrating part of this game for me, was Epona. Bloody Epona. I like most Zelda games, when you're wandering around and doing side quests and missions, sometimes things are very, very vague. Like, I struggled quite a few times to figure out what to do next. And this is very common and, you know, very typical of a Zelda game. Sometimes I had to refer to walkthroughs, and even when reading the walkthrough, I was like, how on earth would I have figured this out? But yeah, that's just typical Zelda. So bosses are fun, but they're so easy. Like, I had no trouble defeating any of the bosses. Maybe the very final boss, I struggled a bit in, but once you sort of get things down and you know the moves and stuff, like, you just smash through it. But for the most part, almost all the bosses I defeated on the first try. And bear in mind, I played on hero mode the entire game, so the game is kind of easy in that regard, I found anyway. I defeated one of the bosses with half a heart. That's all I had. And that boss I can't remember which temple it in, but you're on that spinny top thing and you're spinning around the big column, whatever that was. And yeah, I defeated him. I went in there with half a heart and I defeated him. But the dungeons are where this game shines. Like, the dungeons are so good. They're so well thought out. You use all of your sort of tools and equipment and things, and they're just so much fun. And I think the dungeons are what lifted this whole game up. Again, like Zelda games, you sort of can get stuck in some of them, not knowing what to do. If you don't have patience, I would recommend just referring to a walkthrough if you just cannot get through it, because it might save you a bit of a headache. And when you do see some of these like solutions to being stuck, it's not like, oh, of course. It's like, what the hell? Like, how would I have figured that out? You know? But anyway, so would I recommend this game? Well, it depends. If you've played the original and you haven't played the remaster, like, you'll love this game. If you've played other Zelda games, I would recommend this. And I'm not talking about Breath of the Wild, I'm talking about like previous Zelda games. I would recommend Twilight Princess. But if you've only played Breath of the Wild, or haven't even played Breath of the Wild, but you're more into more modern games, I don't know if this game would be for you. Because it is quite slow. Like, the pacing is a bit slow. The story is good. It's interesting. You know, it drags on a little bit, I found. If you've only played Breath of the Wild and you're thinking, yeah, I want to play all the Zeldas, well, this is not like Breath of the Wild. If you're looking for another Breath of the Wild, play Breath of the Wild 2 when that comes out. If it weren't for how well the dungeons are, I probably wouldn't recommend this game, but playing just for the dungeons is worth it, in my opinion. It's a hard one for me to recommend. Like, did I enjoy it? I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't play it again. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think of the game. Do you love it? Do you absolutely hate it? Because I can see both sides. Like, I can see back in 2006 why people would have really liked this game. I remember the games back then, and I probably would have really liked this game. And I do like the game, but I don't love it, you know, but I don't hate it either. So it's a tough one for me. That's my video, guys. Thanks for watching The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye. It's just the turning, like, just turn around.